You're right everybody, Shock16 back once again for the Renegade Master. So this time I'm going to be doing a response video, and the response is going out to a video made by a really great YouTuber by the name of ProBman5. Now if you've not heard of ProBman5, link is in the description bar to go take a look at his channel. Yeah, really great channel, really deserves the views, the support, the subscribers and stuff like that. So yeah, if you've not checked him out, go check him out. You've probably seen Shem Muso giving him a shout out just lately in one of his recent videos as well. Like I say, he's a good guy, man. He's from the US, and yeah, he does a variant of videos. Sometimes it's gaming related, sometimes it's other things, but yeah, he's kind of a smart dude, you know what I mean? He knows his shit, he knows what he's talking about and stuff. And sometimes when he does videos, he's got like this whiteboard behind him, and he's got like his bullet points on it, and when he's talking about a subject, he's like going through it and he's like breaking it down into sections and stuff like this. And he's just a really interesting guy, and he makes you think and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a smart dude, he knows his shit. So go check him out, it's a great channel. Anyway, this video response is to a video that he's just put up, and it's a video that is inspired by a running joke between me and him, and it's called Factoids Part 1. And basically it's like a 5 questions video, but rather than just 5 questions, here's your quick answers, it's like 5 questions and your answers have to be factoids, like a story or a little anecdote behind your answer basically. So do you know what I mean? Just factoids. So yeah, if you don't know, by the way, the reason why it's called Factoids is because the running joke between me and him is basically factoids, because he made a comment once on somebody's video, I think it was Longboy's post, and it was about Star Wars or something like that, and he said The Empire Strikes Back is the greatest movie at the franchise or something like that, and I basically agreed with his comment and I put, and that's a factoid. And then I made a video and then he basically agreed with what I was saying in the video, and he put on his comment, that's a factoid. So now we just do it back and forth. It's like a thing that, like a personal joke that goes back and forth, and we just put things in our comment, and it's always, that's a factoid. So basically, you answer the 5 questions, you tell your factoid, and after you've told your little story, you say, that's a factoid, or factoid. So yeah, here's the 5 questions. If you want to play along as well, you can do it. You can do your own response. It's an open tag, so I'll put the 5 questions in the description bar below as well, just in case you want to get involved. And like I say, tell us your stories, your anecdotes and your factoids. So yeah, here's my factoids based on the 5 questions that's been asked. So let's crack on. So question number 1 is your most embarrassing moment when you've approached somebody that you've had a crush on. Now this can be from any part of your life. Like, it's mainly probably going to be from when you're younger, because when you get older you don't really have crushes, do you? Do you know what I mean? It's like a younger kind of thing, isn't it, when you're kids. So yeah, I've probably had quite a few of these throughout my lifetime, but one that really stands out was, there was this certain girl when I was at school. I used to catch a bus to and from school. It weren't an actual school bus, it was just like normal public transport, because our school was shit, we didn't have an actual school run bus. So yeah, there was this bus, and kids from different schools used to get on it and stuff like that. It used to go to various places, call at different schools and stuff like that. And she used to be on this bus all this time. This girl I fancied used to be on this bus all the time, either when I was going to school or coming back from school. I'd see her at some point, and yeah, I just thought she was awesome. I just thought this girl was awesome. At the time I thought, yeah, do you know what I mean, this girl's wife material or whatever. But whatever thoughts you had when you was like, I don't know, about 14 years of age or something like that. And so yeah, anyway, this one morning, bus comes around the corner as it does every morning on the way to school. And yeah, it's a double-decker bus. I don't know what the buses are like where you come from, but here in England, double-decker buses are kind of like the standard thing. Or there was back in the 90s anyway, when I was going to school and back. And so yeah, the bus comes around the corner as normal. I look through the top windows on the top deck, and I can see she's there and her mates are there again, and she gives me a little smile out the window. So I'm like, hell yeah, do you know what I mean? The girl that I fancy just give me a little bit of a smile. Maybe this is my time to say hello, you know, spark up a bit of conversation, get to know her. So I'm thinking, this is it, I'm going to get on the bus, I'm going to go up to the top deck, make my little move, you know, make my little play. Anyway, get on the bus, pay my money, I start walking up the stairs, get to the top stair, and I'm just about to say hello, make a bit of conversation like, and for whatever reason the bus slams on its brakes. I go flying backwards. I fall all the way down from the top stairs, from the top deck of the bus, all the way down to the bottom deck of the bus, and all I can hear is just laughter coming from upstairs, and I'm just thinking, fucking hell man, that's it. So I get up there, I walk back up the stairs, and sure enough it's her and her mates, and they're all laughing at me, obviously falling arse over tit down the stairs. So I'm just kind of up there, kind of really embarrassed, put my head down, go to the front of the bus, and yeah, that was it, and that was the end of that story basically. So that's my most embarrassing moment approaching a girl that I fancied, and that's a factoid. So question number 2 is a time you've had to stand up to someone when out buying video games in the wild. So yeah, one story that comes to mind straight off the top of my head is, I can't remember where I was, but I think I was in Doncaster. I'm sure I was in Doncaster or something like that. I'm sure it was Doncaster. Anyway, I was at this car boot, probably in Doncaster, probably somewhere totally different knowing me, but yeah, I was at this car boot sale, and I was just looking around the store, and I saw this one guy who was selling video games, and he had a load of SNES games that really caught my eye, boxed SNES games, and it was going really cheap. Can't remember what games they were. It was a few years ago now, so I've got no chance of remembering what it was, but I can just remember thinking, these games are worth quite a bit of money, do you know what I mean? And he's selling them quite cheap. Anyway, there's this other guy there that is also checking them out. He also knows the true value of them and stuff like this, and he goes in. Anyway, he knocks the guy down, but the guy's having none of it, and he's playing hard to get on these games and stuff like that. And I come along, I start making my play, I knock him down a bit, but it's still a bit too rich for this other guy, and this other guy just hasn't got quite enough money because he's been around the car boot and he's been spending all his money on other stores, you see, on other shit around the store, so it's left him a bit short to get this bargain on these SNES games. And he's like, you can see that I've knocked him down, but it's still just a little bit too rich and out of this guy's reach. So just as I'm about to buy him, this guy butts in and he starts telling the other guy how much the games are actually worth, saying, oh, why are you going to sell them that cheap for? These games are worth like this and all this much on eBay and stuff like this. You can get a lot more money of them if you just save them and take them home. So he convinces the guy that's selling the games at the car boot to keep hold of the games. Basically, I miss out on these games. He was going to sell them to me, and then he just changes his mind and takes them off the stall and puts them back in his van, because this fucking idiot knows that he's spent all his money and couldn't get these bargains, and he sees me coming up and I'm about to bag a bargain, and he hated it. The guy just hated it. So yeah, I basically just stand up to this guy and I'm just like, you are a fucking idiot, basically. Me just being me, I don't mix my words, I don't pussyfoot around people, I don't sugarcoat any of my shit, I just tell it as it is, and I just look at him straight in the eyes and I just go, you are a fucking prick. And this guy just walks off, and yeah, I keep seeing him around the car boot sale on this day, keep seeing him around as I'm walking around for the rest of the day, I keep seeing him, he keeps putting his head down and that, and it's just like, I just had to stand up to this guy and just tell him what a prick he was. So yeah, that was me standing up, fighting. Do you know what I mean? Standing up to the man. And that's a factoid. Question number 3 is your most awkward, kind of embarrassing, depressing moment you've had whilst playing a sport. Now I've got 2 stories that come to mind. The first one is a bit like ProBman's story himself. He had an incident while he was doing wrestling that happened, and something similar happened to me while I was doing judo. So yeah, I used to go to judo. Well, my mate used to go to judo. He was really big into his judo, and he was like at competition level. He was actually he did a competition once which was televised by Eurosport back in the 90s down in London. So yeah, he was really big into it. But I used to go and I used to just like spectate at his like local class where he used to do his classes, judo classes and stuff. And one day I just thought, yeah, I'm just going to get on the mat and give it a go, see what it's all about. And I got quite good, learned a couple of moves, got quite good at them and stuff like that. I never really got anywhere, but you know how it is, it was just a bit of fun, something to do while I was there, while I was spectating him. I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to get into it and do a bit myself. So yeah, anyway, one day, this is after about, I don't know, about a month or so of going to this certain judo class, to do like a little competition thing, just to see what people's learn, how you're getting on, see what skills you've learnt and stuff like that. So they start matching us up against people on your own skill level, like people who's at the same level you are in at judo. So I get put up against this guy who I've been sparring with over the past few weeks. I can still remember his name now. His name's called Sean. I haven't seen him since judo, and if you are watching this, Sean, and you can remember me, then you'll probably remember the story. But yeah, his name was called Sean. He was twice as big as me, but that's the story of my life. I'm just a short arse guy, so do you know what I mean? I've spent my whole life fighting people bigger than me, basically. So this was no exception to that. So yeah, I'm fighting this guy called Sean. I'm in a bar, we get paired together, and because he's bigger than me, you expect him to beat me, basically. Like I say, I'm just this short arse guy. But I'm up against him, and about a few seconds into this bar, I get him in this move, and please do feel free, if you're into judo and you know the moves, and you know the names proper, and I fuck up, then please do feel free to correct me in the comments and say, that's not what that move's called. But yeah, anyway, I get him in this move, and it's basically a hip throw move, and it's called a hip-on. And basically what you do is you grab him here, and then you have him by like the scruff there, and you kind of step in and turn, and you throw him over your hip. So in the first few seconds, I get this guy, this Sean, and I throw him over my hip, and I get my first hip on, and I'm like, yeah, fucking awesome. And then a few minutes later, I get my second hip on over this side this time, and I'm like, yeah. Basically, I'm thinking, I'm beasting this. I am beasting this son of a bitch. You know what I mean? This match is mine. And I'm thinking, if I get another throw in or something like this, I'm thinking this bar is going to be mine. I'm going to win this bar. But me being me, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not going to go for another hip on or something like that, which would have been perfectly fine. That would have been perfectly fine. But no, not me. I decided to go for another move. It's called a Yoko Tomonagi. Now, this move is you grab him in the same place again, but as you grab him, you pull him into us, and you put your foot into the chest, and you fall backwards, you throw him over your head. That's called a Tomonagi. But the Yoko Tomonagi, instead of going straight back, you go to the side, like diagonally to the side, and they fall to your other side, like it shifts the balance and throws them over that side. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go for the Yoko Tomonagi. I'm going to show off a bit, you know what I mean? I'm beasting this motherfucker. So as I do it, I grab this Sean, I put him towards me, I lose my footing as I'm doing it, and he basically lands on top of me and gets me in a ground hold. Now I'm not sure what the ground move called. I'm sure it's called a Kazakatami or something like that. I'm sure that's what the move's called, Kazakatami, and it's basically a ground choke move where you put your arm there and it kind of like chokes the neck, pins the shoulders, and yeah, it's just a ground move, and it's virtually impossible to get out of. So he lands on me in this perfect position to do this Kazakatami, and yeah, I'm just stuck underneath him, and I'm just like, it's just one of those moments where you just kind of like close your eyes and just wait for the bat to end, because you know you're not going to get out of it. So yeah, I basically fucked up due to my own mistake, and he got this ground pin on me, and I lost the match, the bout, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and the second one is, I was at school and I was playing five-a-side football. Now, when I say football, I mean soccer. Could we play it with our feet? Football, come on, let's have the right football. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, five-a-side indoor football. So I've never really been big into the game, never really been good at sports, to be honest with you. But I'm playing five-a-side. We're having this little tournament going on, this school tournament, and my team are doing really well, and I'm like the star scorer. I don't know what's going on. Like I say, I'm not good at football in any shape or form, but I'm just banging in goals left, right and centre, and I'm like taking my team, and it gets to a point where we get to the, like, one team's already in the final, and all we need is to draw. All we need in our final game, in this last game that we're playing, is a draw, and we're in the final with this other team. So, and the team that we're about to play is like the team made up of, like, do you know the kids that get picked last at sport? It's kind of one of those teams, so you're thinking, yeah, we're going to fucking beast these boys, do you know what I mean? This is going to be a breeze. We only need like a draw, and we're in. So anyway, we're playing them, and I'm not putting any goals in. I'm just like, I'm up front and I'm not putting any goals in. And so I think, fuck it, I'm going to drop back, let somebody else go up there, and maybe they'll bang a goal in. Like I say, we're going to need a draw anyway, so it don't really matter. Do you know what I mean? It's 0-0, I'm thinking that'll do us. So I just take my eye off the ball for 1 second, and out of nowhere this ball just fucking hits me, full pole in the head, nearly knocks me clean out, and it rebounds off my head, goes into our goal, scores an own goal, they win, and another team goes through to the final by default. How fucking shit is that? Factoid. So question number 4 is the time you freaked out the most at playing a video game. Now I would love to pin this down to just one moment that I freaked out the most, but I really can't remember. I have freaked out a lot of games anger me, and I get to that point where I just can't control it and I lash out at computer games. Not so much with this generation of gaming, but yeah, back in the day I used to get really mad and lash out. So yeah, I freak out at a lot of video games really. It's basically when I'm playing a game that don't play by its own rules, and video gamers will know exactly what I mean. It's basically when games set parameters or rules in a game where it will either make your opponent win by default if you go out the rules, or it will reset and you have to start all over again for going out the rules. But when the computer does it, oh, it's fine. That's fine, you can't do it, but the computer does it, oh, it don't fucking matter. I hate it when it does that. It's like the game doesn't play by its own rules, and that's what freaks me out. So yeah, I'm not really bad for it at the moment. I haven't really freaked out much on this generation. PlayStation 2 generation though, that era, I would say that's when I freaked out the most. That era of gaming, even though I loved it, probably I have had the most freak out moments of, because the amount of DualShock 2 controllers I've gone through for the PS2 is just insanely stupid. In fact, I can remember once going to the store and buying 3 DualShock 2 controllers, 1 to play with and 2 for backup, as I knew that at least one of them was going to get smashed up. And true to form, I've got my PlayStation 2 down now. It's actually out of the loft. I got it out of the loft to set it back up again and put it back into the setup. And I've still only got 1 DualShock controller left. So yeah, I've had shitloads of controllers and I've only got 1 left now. And yeah, that's not in the best condition. So I would say, do you know what I mean, take your pick out of my PlayStation 2 games that play by that rule, that don't play by their own rules, and that's when I freaked out the most. So I'm not going to pin it down to one particular moment, but I'm going to pin it down to one particular gaming era, and that was the PS2 era. Factoid. So the 5th and final question is the moment you've felt the most smartest and dumbest at the same time. Now, this was quite a hard one for me. I mean, I can think of loads of moments when I've been fucking dumb. Do you know what I mean? But the time when I've actually been smart, they don't come too quick when you're with me. They don't come very often. They're a rarity with me. Do you know what I mean? Smart moments. But yeah, I can remember once, I can't really remember the details of it, but basically I worked with this woman. Again, I'm not going to say who she is, just in case somebody she knows watches this. I doubt it ever will, but yeah, I'm just not going to say her name. But I work with this woman, and she's this kind of woman that always talks down to you. She's just a fucking know-it-all, basically. She knows, she don't know nothing, basically. She knows everything, but she knows nothing. Do you know what I mean? And if you're talking about something, she'll butt in and she'll think she knows better than you. And she just fucks me. I hate people like that. I can't stand people like that. So yeah, anyway. A friend of mine does car detailing. And I'm not just talking about he works at a fucking car wash. I mean, he does like top high-end detailing on cars. Do you know what I mean? And she was on about, there was a woman at work who we work with, and she was on about getting a car detailed. So anyway, she's asking for some advice and stuff like this on how to go about detailing this car and stuff. So this woman, this fucking know-it-all, she comes in and she starts going, oh, you want to do this, you want to do that. And I'm thinking, no, I've picked up a few things from my mate, my detailing mate. I think I know a little bit better than you in this situation this time round. So I just cut her short. I'm just straight in there and I'm like, no, that's not true really, is it? What you want to do is this. I kind of cut her short, do you know what I mean? So I tell this woman what to use and stuff like that. And what I tell her to use is spot on, honestly. The routine that I tell her to, the way I tell her to detail this car, do this detail on this car, is spot on. It makes me look like I know what I'm on about, and I did know what I'm on about. Do you know what I mean? I knew better about detailing this car than this fucking know-it-all knew, or thought she knew. And so yeah, I'm making her look like a twat at the same time, making myself look really smart, and it was spot on. But the only thing is, I fuck up on one of the details, and that detail is one of the products that I tell her to go out and buy is I give her the wrong name for it. And basically I knew what the product was that I was meant to be telling her to buy, but I said the wrong name of it. It was just one of those like little lapse of memories where you say the wrong name for something and you tell him another name of a different product instead of the one that you was meant to tell him. So anyway, she goes out and buys this. A couple of days later anyway, she comes in, she's done this detail into a car, and yeah, this product, because I've told her the wrong name, it's the wrong product, and it's totally just fucked up the detailing on this car. So of course it's made me look like a complete idiot. So it's one of them smart moments, because I did know what I was on about, and I was spot on with telling her about, because of my little bit of memory lapse and telling her the wrong name and making her get the wrong product, it fucked it up. So it was kind of one of them smart but dumb moments at the same time. And that's a factoid. So there you have it, guys. There was my 5 factoid answers. Like I say, if you want to give it a go, give it a go. It is an open tag. The questions are in the description bar below, as well as ProBman's channel, and I'm also going to drop you the link to his original video, which I'm doing a response to, so check that out as well. So yeah, there you go. I've been Shock16, you've been YouTube, he's been ProBman5, and that's Factoid.